Welcome into the Week 6 Fantasy Recap. We'll get right into redraft. Nico's League 4-2 defeats Leftist Cheers 2-4, 136.6 to 120.68. Nico's League rallies in the 4 p.m. window from a steep deficit to pull off a victory over Leftist Cheers. Gabriel Davis and Juju Smith-Schuster combined for 34.34 points, helping greatly to seal the victory before Sunday Night Football. Leftist Cheers tallies their 4th game in the loss column despite scoring in the top half of teams this week. With the win for Nico's League, they improved to 5 all-time wins over Leftist Cheers in the 14 matchups contested between the two. The Stoners 4-2 defeats Bills Mafia 4-2, 125.59 to 106.79. The Stoners take advantage of a down week for Bills Mafia, cruising to a nearly 20-point win. Bills Mafia was depleted, with Derek Carr, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Brandon Cooks, and T.J. Hockenson all on bye. The Stoners had Jared Goff on bye, but Trevor Lawrence filled in very well, throwing for 165 yards and a touchdown, but finding the end zone on the ground twice also. Bills Mafia will look to bounce back in a tough test against Ben Stiller Virginity next week. Ben Stiller Virginity 5-1 defeats Gumpy Glizzies 0-6, 100.72 to 97.89. Ben Stiller Virginity barely cracks the 100-point mark, but secures a close win over Gumpy Glizzies to keep them winless. Ben Stiller Virginity employed an interesting tactic, not starting a defense. Starting the Steelers' defense would have put them 2 points clear of the lead, but that same defense was just a touchdown and a few yards away from dipping into the negatives. This is Ben Stiller Virginity's 3rd win all-time over Gumpy Glizzies in the 4 all-time matchups. Scuba Delinquent 4-2 defeats No Pun Intended 3-3, 127.52 to 112.64. The Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs combo strikes again, this time combining for 53.75 points and leading Scuba Delinquent to their 4th win on the year. No Pun Intended has a decent week overall, but lacks in the wide receiver department, with their 3 starting wide receivers only combining for 21.07 points, less than Stephon Diggs alone. In the 14 all-time matchups between these two, the series is in a dead heat, tied 7-7. The Red Carpets 2-4 defeats Washington Rednecks 2-4, 152.69 to 102.39. The Red Carpets tally their 2nd win of the year, this time in dominant fashion over the Washington Rednecks. The Red Carpets easily post the top score of the week, cracking the 150-point mark for the first time this season. The main contributor was Joe Burrow, who walked into the stadium he won the national championship in with LSU and walked out with 35.5 fantasy points. The Washington Rednecks are getting tough draws this season, but we'll see if the unlucky tendencies subside next week against Leftist Cheers, who the Rednecks have never beaten in the history of the league, with 9 games worth of losses stacking up to this Week 7 matchup. Let's move into our Week 7 power rankings. Starting at the bottom, at number 10 not moving is Gumpy Glizzies. At number 9 not moving, No Pun Intended. At number 8 moving down 1 spot, Leftist Cheers. At number 7 moving up 1 spot, Ben Stiller Virginity. At number 6 not moving, The Red Carpets. At number 5 moving down 1 spot, the Washington Rednecks. At number 4 moving up 1 spot, the Stoners. At number 3 not moving, Nico's League. At number 2 not moving, Bills Mafia. And staying put in the number 1 spot, Scoob the Delinquent. Our Week 7 game of the week is Nico's League 4-2 versus Scoob the Delinquent 4-2. This game will be a battle of depth. These rivals will face off with big losses on both sides, as Dalvin Cook and Gabriel Davis are on bye for Nico's League, and the Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs combo will be in the same scenario for Scoob. All right, we move into Dynasty. Prestige Worldwide 3-3 defeats I Am They 1-5, 108.19 to 90.32. Prestige Worldwide finally takes a little dip into the luck jar, pulling out a win over rival I Am They while scoring in the bottom half of the league this week. Tyreek Hill led the way, impressively scoring 20.7 points without reaching the end zone in the Dolphins' loss to the Vikings. With the win, Prestige Worldwide evens the all-time rivalry at 2 games apiece, with Week 10 waiting to break the tie. Stratton Oakmont Inc. 4-2 defeats Nico's Dream Team 4-2, 120.85 to 83.73. Stratton Oakmont Inc. pulls off a victory over previously 4-1 Nico's Dream Team in an important game in the leader's division. Nico's Dream Team has an uncharacteristically bad week, failing to even break the 85-point mark. Stratton Oakmont Inc. rides the hot heels of Jamar Chase, who tallied 7 receptions for 132 yards and 2 trips to the end zone. Nico's Dream Team will look to bounce back next week in a tough test against rival the Scoop Empire. The Scoop Empire 3-3 defeats CZ Raccoon 74 5-1, 126.3 to 116.62. The Scoop Empire finally slays the final dragon and takes down the last undefeated team both leagues had to offer. Even performances up and down the board secure the win, with no player scoring over 20 points. Scoop impressively records a win, even with QB Zach Wilson only posting 4.5 points. This is Scoop's second win over CZ Raccoon 74 in 5 all-time matchups, and surprisingly, the highest total Scoop has ever posted against CZ Raccoon. Gump Dynasty 2-4 defeats Cumber Dynasty 2-4, 113.59 to 109.14. Gump Dynasty squeaks out a win over Cumber Dynasty during Monday Night Football. It should have been a foregone conclusion going into the last game of the week, only being down around 4 points with Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert yet to go. Herbert surpassed the mark, but did so unconvincingly and kept Cumber Dynasty in the hunt for most of the game. Gump Dynasty records their second all-time win over Cumber Dynasty in the 5 matchups the two have contested. Our Week 7 Dynasty Power Rankings. Starting at the bottom at number 8, not moving, Gump Dynasty. At number 7, not moving, I Am They. At number 6, not moving, the Scoop Empire. At number 5, moving down 1 spot, Cumber Dynasty. At number 4, moving up 1 spot, Stratton Oakmont Inc. At number 3, staying put, Prestige Worldwide. At number 2, not moving, Nico's Dream Team. And staying put at the number 1 spot, CZ Raccoon 74. Our Week 7 game of the week is Nico's Dream Team 4-2 versus the Scoop Empire 3-3. The only significant bye week in this game is Scoop's Devontae Smith, so we should get a full-fledged battle in this intriguing out-of-conference matchup. On to the Survivor Pool. We have a 3-way tie. The Survivor Pool comes to an end this week as all 3 remaining players choose losing teams in the same week. Devin chose the 49ers, who were stunned by Marcus Mariota and the Falcons. Reed chose the Packers, who were involved in the biggest upset of the week with the Zach Wilson-led Jets winning by 17 at Lambeau. Jet chose Tampa Bay, who went to Pittsburgh and lost a heartbreaker to the Steelers. All 3 players will split the pot evenly 3 ways, netting $36 each. All right, thanks for tuning in to the Week 6 recap. We're just about halfway through the regular season here, depending on the league scenario, but we're getting there. We'll see you in Week 7.